It has been so long since I filmed or uploaded any videos, so I'm really excited today to kind of get back in the swing of things. Bear with me if it's a little long-winded or a little hiccupy. I am really just getting my feet under me again, and so today's gonna be a little bit of a longer video where I just kind of ramble a little bit, but also talk you through what I think is a good everyday makeup, kind of no makeup routine, where you can definitely tell she's wearing something, but you can also tell it didn't take very long. So if anybody has questions, tips, tricks for me, or wants to chat, reach out. And without further ado, let's get right on into it. All right, it's been a little while since I filmed, so forgive me if I'm a little bit rocky. This is not my usual filming setup because my second room is under redesign right now. So as I usually do, I'm gonna start by pinning my hair back, and today I have these like really cute little knife clips. So I'm just gonna get my hair out of my face with these little barrettes. So to start off, I'm gonna do some skincare. The first step is just going to be establishing a really hydrating base. Today I don't need my makeup to last long, but it is necessary for a long-lasting foundation look. So I like to look hydrated regardless of how long I'm gonna leave my makeup on. And so today I'm gonna use the hyaluronic acid serum from Good Molecules. Everything that they sell is super cheap and super good. I mean, from what little I know. So I've heard some people say not to use the serum dropper directly on your face, but instead to put it in your hands and then apply with your hands. I'm kind of curious about that, if anybody else has heard that as well. So if you've heard that, let me know. And the next step I'm going to take is sunscreen, and this is going to kind of double as my moisturizer. So this is the e.l.f. Sun Touchable Wow Glow 30 SPF Sun Protection and Makeup Primer. And I'm going to put it on the back of my hand. And it's nowhere close to being my shade, but it's kind of just tinted sunscreen. So I'm gonna dot it over my face and really get it all over. This is more important when you're gonna be in the sun. Right now the sun's already gone down, so I'm not as concerned about like the SPF factor, but I know it's still good for your skin and it's gonna make your makeup look a lot better. All right, so some people use the sunscreen alone as a primer, which is not bad, but I'm gonna use additional primer today just because I've been watching a lot of videos and I feel like doing it. One thing I realized I forgot though was putting on lip balm. I hate having dry lips. So I'm gonna use this little macaron shaped tub. It used to have a Sanrio character on it, Kuromi, and it like fully rubbed off. That's how old, I mean it's not that old, it's a couple months old, but that's how worn this is. So back to e.l.f. The really famous Hydro Grip Primer is what I'm gonna use. Just putting some on the back of my hand like that. I'm gonna use in the wider zones of my face, so broad areas like my forehead and the outer parts of my cheek. This is really gonna help your makeup stick to your face better, and the water base, the hydro part of the Hydro Grip Primer is adding a little bit of that moisture too if you really want to achieve a glowy skin finish. So if you look at my skin, my pores are, and most people's, very visible around this, what people call, you know, your T-zone. But for me, it's less of acne and more of these really large pores showing. So I'm going to take a pore filling primer, and this is the Benefit Porefessional that I have in just a mini size that's close to running out. But that one is a pore filling consistency. So if I put a little on my finger and show you, it's like this. It's not a gel, it's more of a putty almost. So I put the pore filling primer in these areas of my face where I want there to be a little more even texture. And as far as the use of primer as like a medium to help the foundation stick, I'm not as concerned about that because once again, I'm not going to be wearing my makeup for a long time, but also because I really like a very sheer coverage. It's not really a problem for me to have there be wear throughout the day that makes my skin visible underneath my foundation, because I mostly just use tinted moisturizers anyway. Okay, if you can believe all of that was just priming. The last step is I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury finishing spray. It's a setting spray, but it can also be used as a priming spray too. So I like to do that to, again, add a little bit of moisture, but also the setting spray kind of adds that like tackiness. It's almost like adding product like that makes your hair stay before you curl your hair, rather than adding hairspray, or just adding hairspray over it, is kind of how I think of it. And so that leaves our skin ready for actual foundation. And as you know, I'm not going to be using foundation because this is more of an everyday skin wear look. So I'm going to be using two of my favorite tinted moisturizers, which are two different shades of the Fenty Beauty Ease Drops, the Blurring Skin Tint. And so I have a couple of different shades because one is too light for me, which is this one. Way too light, but that's what I shade matched to in like the dead of winter when I hadn't seen the sun in a long time. And then, ooh, this guy is almost out. And then this shade, in my opinion, is like a little dark for my face right now. So I've just been mixing them together and trying to achieve what looks, you know, closest to my natural skin tone. But the really forgiving thing about tinted moisturizers or serums like this is that you don't really need to like shade match that closely, honestly, because it just like blends out into your skin, kind of like the tinted sunscreen that I just wore from e.l.f. Obviously that looked nothing like my skin tone, but it blends out into your skin very well. So that's typically how I apply it, kind of by applying with your fingers. You warm up the product a little bit, and if you're somebody who shares makeup or does makeup on other people, it's a lot more sanitary to just use the back of your hand as a palette. And when doing makeup, it's always handy to have makeup wipes ready. So from there, I am just going to take a blending brush, a foundation brush, and buff that into my skin. When I'm using a fuller coverage foundation, which for me is like a medium coverage, I find that it's the best finish that I can achieve using a beauty blender. But I really like how easy this brush is. I was using the Morphe brush for a really long time, the one that looks like identical to this. And this one actually is just e.l.f. And I don't know how well you can see, but I think that it blends pretty well. And with such a lightweight formula, I feel like it's not hard for serums to blend out well, because there's not as potential for them to look cakey because there's so much less coverage. But I do find that this brush just blends really well and kind of into the skin without making it look like your makeup is sitting on top of your skin. So that's my skin done. I'm gonna take next the Nude Stick, little, what is it called? All Over Face Color, in the shade Bondi Bay. And it is dual ended and there's a brush on this end, but it's kind of filthy and so I don't want to use it. But what it is just a contour stick basically. The top is a little messy, but what I do is take a line that hits basically at my cheekbone. This is my cheekbone. I know it's hard to tell because my face is so round. This is my cheekbone right here, and so I just try to angle it like right underneath, and that basically is just gonna create a shadow of where your cheekbone would typically fall over this area right here. Almost like if I draw it out like this, we're not gonna do a ton of contouring, but like this, you can see how head on it looks like the shape of like, as if you're gonna do skeleton makeup, right? Like carving inward. So that's like what you want to achieve when you're doing your contouring. And the other thing to note, well, we can talk on another video about bronzer versus contour. But this is a good contour color for me because it's darker than my natural shade by a couple of shades, but it's relatively cool toned. So I'm gonna also put it up here. I need to do some work on like figuring out my forehead contour placement. But then on the right side, I'm doing the same thing where I'm just putting a line underneath where my cheekbone technically is. Don't come for me, I technically do have a cheekbone. And I'm gonna bring it down roughly to where the other one ended. And so it doesn't have to be precise. I know a lot of people are way better at this than I am, so give me your tips. But I'm gonna use this flat contouring brush to push this cream product upward. And this brush is honestly not my favorite tool. I prefer a beauty blender or even my fingers, but I'm gonna go in first with the brush because I just wanna be able to pick up excess product on the bristles. And so you can see there, it's faded pretty well, and it kind of just looks like there's a shadow. It kind of almost just follows like my natural little tiny bit of a shadow there. And so putting the bronzer up here kind of helps reshape your face a little bit, but I think the benefit to me is also warming up and bringing a little bit of darkness to the top of my head, which is, I mean, contour and bronzer are different, but mostly they can help darken your skin and warm it up a little, which I like the look of. So I'm back over here with the blending brush, and I'll just come out of this a little bit. I think that it's not too bad. And so I'm gonna take a little brush to do my nose contour. So I'm just gonna dip the brush into the Bondi Bay color of this nude stick. And then I'm gonna create these parallel lines on my nose with that product. I'm gonna grab a little bit more to really show like the strong line of what I'm hoping to achieve. And then I like to put a little bit on the bottom to kind of lift my nose up a little bit, and even kind of draw a diamond around my nose to give it the illusion of being a little uplifted. And so it looks a little stark in contrast right now, but we're gonna smooth that out with this brush. I was gonna say with concealer, but I don't really wanna go with concealer. So I'm gonna just take the same kind of foundation brush and blend it out. And I think that still works for me. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of highlight at the very end to emphasize the tip of the nose being somewhat turned up. But yeah, I think it works for me. So next up, we're still doing cream products, but I'm gonna pause and do a little bit more mist. And I think this is nice to just kind of rehydrate your face, but also I think adding setting spray in between steps helps your makeup grip a little bit better too. So I like to add that. And since we're still on cream products, I think I'm gonna go into blush. So I'm gonna be using the Fenty Beauty Cream Blush in the shade Petal Poppin', which is so messy. So I'm just gonna flash it. There you go. It's so messy, but I really, really love this, this product. I love pretty much everything from Fenty, but this is really nice. I think it's not like too pigmented for me, because some liquid and cream blushes can pick up product and deposit it so strong on your skin that all of a sudden like you just look really rosy cheeked and you weren't expecting it. And I think that this product is really buildable. Just kind of provides more sheer coverage first, and then you can build up a couple of layers over time. But I like making sure at this stage that my contour is really blended. And I also tend to bring up the blush to the sides of the face to give it a more sun-kissed look. And then I also am gonna do a little blush on the tip of my nose because I think it looks cute. I know that trend isn't really that popular anymore, but I still like it. So at this point, I'm not gonna do concealer because concealer is not my favorite. So the last thing that we're gonna do before using powder is just do a little bit of highlighting. So I'm gonna use the NYX Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator and just put a little bit on the back of my hand, like this. It's a really kind of rosy rose gold color. And just using my finger, I'm gonna blend it in at the top of my cheekbone, which is right here. Again, everybody technically has cheekbones, you guys. And then just on the other side here, the high point of your face. So you always want your illuminator or highlighter to try to illuminate where the sun would naturally fall, given the high points and low points of your face. That's basically the only rule to highlighting and contouring. And I'm gonna use a little bit more on the tip of my nose and along the bridge. So this looks a little crazy. This needs to be blended out better. To me, that makes the nose look a little bit elevated. And this is also kind of old. Some people are more into contouring, but I still like highlighting the bow. And then I'm just going to add some of this because it's liquid illuminator and it's not honestly in person as like shimmery as a true highlighter. So I'm gonna add this because our last step on the face before going on to eyes is gonna be powder. So I'm gonna use the setting spray one last time on our cream products. So for setting powder, I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier translucent powder and just shake a little bit into my cap here. And then carefully pick up my powder brush, which is dirty, don't worry about it, I'm gonna clean it. And then tap off excess powder. And then what I do, a lot of people like to press powder into their face. I like to do it just so lightly. So I press like very kind of haphazardly, very lightly over everywhere that I can see shine and everywhere where I want to lock in cream product. And then I do the same thing on the other side of the face. And so if you use really light powder like this, I find that it really helps eliminate your shine, but also keeps the glowiness. Like if I look from side to side, to me, it still looks glowy there, but it's not matte, it's not like wet looking. So to me, that's kind of the blend that I like to achieve. And then one last time, I'm gonna do some more setting spray. And I don't really do setting spray at the very end because sometimes I realize it kind of messes with my eye makeup. So for eyeshadow, I was thinking of doing a couple different looks, but what I decided to do was just the very easy, use your contour or bronzer as an eyeshadow. So using this, taking the same fluffy brush I used to contour my nose, I'm gonna pick up product and I'm gonna focus it under the brow bone right here, just right in that socket as kind of a guideline of where I want the color to concentrate. And then just keep going over it until I've achieved a shade that I like that is generally blended out. So this is kind of nice because number one, it's really easy, but it kind of makes it look like you put some kind of effort into your eyeshadow. And the other thing that's nice is it makes your eyes look a little bit bigger to me, it seems, by using it here because you're emphasizing the shadow that would ordinarily like come right here under your brow bone. So it makes your eyes look a little bit bigger. And that's it that I'm gonna do for this today. So I'm gonna move on to eyebrows. So for brows, I'm gonna use two of my favorite Benefit products. So Precisely my brow pencil, and then I don't even know what shade this is, but the brow gel. So going to comb through my hairs, and I kind of tend to create divots in my face product if I'm not careful with where my spoolie goes. So you probably want to be a little more careful than me. And so I already immediately like the look of my brows a little bit more after I've brushed them through. there's definitely some growth that I need to tweeze right now. But the next step that I take is, oh, actually I skipped a step. Whew, I use the pencil end first. What was I thinking? So I use this end. I really like the delicate pencil tip of the Benefit brow pencil. And so I start here on the inner part of where I want my eyebrow to come in. And I start by creating a really thin, delicate line from where I want to make it look like my hairs are grown in. And so just really lightly use that. And then I'm creating little tiny brush strokes to mimic individual hairs. It's obviously not a, I'm not at professional level, but to me, this helps it look like my eyebrows are a little bit fuller in a much more natural way. And then if I'm having trouble with the wing, which I am, sometimes I just take my finger and swipe it like that. And you don't want to draw in your brows too dark at this step, because it can make you look like you're boxing in your eyebrows, which is a really bad look. You kind of don't want to do that. So I try to follow like where my hairs naturally go and just enhance it a little bit. So that's usually how the pencil aspect goes. Then I go in with the gel. So this is the pomade. It's a tinted product. It's not like not a clear gel. And I work that through the hairs to keep them in place and kind of act as a spoolie itself one last time. It's the brushing motion and the product that it deposits that helps your hairs look more like hairs. So that's eyebrows for me. And the last product before lip gloss and calling it a day is going to be mascara. So today I'm using the Lancome Hypnose doll lashes, and I just use a really basic lash curler from Tweezerman. It gets the job done, but I actually am ordering another one from, I think it was Tarte. I saw recommended by a beauty TikToker. So yeah, this one isn't so bad. I like my lashes, they just don't really stay curled very well. So that doesn't look too bad to me. I don't wanna like make them look like they're at a right angle, so I don't wanna squish them anymore. But I have been enjoying the Lancome mascara. I like the applicator, the spoolie. So mascara is like one of the more painstaking parts of my makeup routine because I do this a lot. You see where I got the mascara above my eye? And because I don't have like a really precise eye look today, I'm just wiping it off. But typically I have to spend so much time trying to mascara my eyelashes in a way that doesn't like hit my brow bone over and over that this process takes a very long time. So I'm actually just going to fast forward this. The last thing I'm gonna do is take my Too Faced Liquid Injection Lip Gloss. And I don't know who among you likes lip plumping lip glosses, but I kind of like the tingly feeling. I don't know if they actually do plump my lips or if it's just plumper because I'm wearing gloss, but I don't really care because the tingle, I don't know, it's like, oh, I'm punishing my lips, that's right. So I'm going to use this, and it's super lightly tinted, but the feeling is like classic lip gloss feeling. It just like transports me back to middle school. And that's pretty much it. I really love a good gloopy gloss. All right, so here we are. I've got some cute little cherry clips in my hair to go with my fruit theme, although it's mostly strawberries from here on out. So yeah, I guess that was a pretty long way of saying there are a few steps you can take to make your skin look as if you're wearing something but not wearing that much, and it really doesn't take as long as I make it seem it does. So maybe sometime I can do like a timed video where I'm not talking as much or taking as many breaks to show you that it can definitely be done in under 5 minutes. So that being said, bye everybody. Thanks for those who watched. Really excited to be back into making videos, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out in the next few months. So stay tuned. Love you. Bye.